Hey everyone, I wanted to get on here to discuss a case that's ongoing right now in Des Moines, Indiana, which is like close to an hour and a half away from Chicago. And this is regarding the death of Rhyker Earl, which unfortunately can potentially be due to police brutality. To start off, Rhyker was born on March 8th, 1998, and unfortunately died on September 10th, 2024. So what led to his death? Well, to get started, let's go back 2 days before. On September 8th, 2024, his grandmother called 911 after Rhyker kept continuing to have seizures, which you're supposed to do. You're supposed to call 911 when someone's having back-to-back seizures or if a seizure lasts longer than 5 minutes. So once she calls 911, during this time, seizures still happening, EMT and cops are on their way. So by the time EMT and cops are at the house, Rhyker's getting out of that seizure. And we all know how that goes. You know, you're dazed, you're confused, you feel drunk, you feel hungover, you feel like you just took in a 12-hour nap. So at the time, he's slowly gaining awareness when they come to the door. His grandmother explains to EMTs and police that, hey, he just got out of the seizure. He's not fully there, which they seem to understand. And during this time, while they're waiting for Rhyker to get ready to go to the hospital. And this is one moment where it just changed everything. So that moment was when Rhyker put on his shorts to go to the hospital. And of course, he's not fully aware yet. So, you don't have... your mobility is not exactly 100%. So what happens is he puts on the shorts and then he bumps to, some sources say a cop, others say EMS, EMT, But either way, he accidentally bumped to someone. And then the family says, next thing you know, they treated him like a suspect. And they see their loved one face down on the floor with a pillow, smothered pretty much, with his hands behind his back, handcuffed. Which, it confuses everyone because everything seemed to be fine and it was an accidental bump. But EMT and cops saw it another way. His aunt, Miracle, explained to I forgot which news coverage it was, but she did interview for the news, and she said during this entire ordeal, which lasted 15 minutes, he kept saying, I can't breathe, help me. And unfortunately, those words were not in the ears of EMT or cops. So after the 15 minutes go by, the family goes to him, and his aunt speaks about how he was blue, he was non-responsive, she couldn't find a pulse. And from that, cops and EMTs try to revive him with no luck whatsoever. So what they do next is they take him to the hospital, where he is on life support for the next 2 days. So by the second day, September 10th, 2024, the family took Rhyker out of life support, and unfortunately that's what caused his death. As to what is the main cause of death, the coroners do not have a determination right now. Family says it's police brutality. Cops say it's just an unfortunate event due to his seizures. And at this time, I'm not sure whether he had a history of seizures or was it just like a one-time thing. If you do know anything, comment below. But what led to this is the family advocating for justice, and in response, Jasper County Sheriff Patrick Williamson Sr. wrote out a statement pretty much explaining how in the body cam footage, he wasn't face down, he was on his side in the recovery stage after a seizure, and they formed a family to put a pillow on the ground to avoid to prevent any future injury. And then he accuses the family of gaslighting the community and the media. But yet, with this statement on hand, aren't you doing the same thing? Just saying. But at this time, the Earl's family attorneys, Ben Grapp, who is a civil rights attorney, and Stephen Wagner, who's an Indiana family attorney or state district, some attorney in Indiana. And all of them are waiting for the coroner's results and the body cam footage, which the sheriff said they will not release till the investigation is done. And right now, Indiana State Police are investigating this whole situation. So all we can hope for is justice, and going forward for law enforcement and EMTs to have proper seizure first aid training, because if they actually knew epilepsy or were familiar with seizures, I believe this case or this situation would have never happened, and Rhyker would still be a father to his 2 kids. And I do hope for justice going forward. As of right now, there's no further updates. They did have the funeral sometime this week, and all we can hope for is a better future.